Okay, so I've already started this with adding and subtracting expressions by combining like terms, and I did this first one by simplifying, combining my z's to get in a negative 11z, and combining my constants, sorry, to get my negative 3. And now we were starting to talk about, and this is where we're picking up, adding linear equations. I don't know why it says adding linear equations. Now that I see that, that should not say equations. That should say expressions. I apologize. I got this from a book, and I believe there was a typo. These are expressions. This is a good side note. These are expressions, and they're not equations because there's no equal sign. Do you see that? So we can't call those equations. So anyway, we're going to start adding the linear expressions. They're binomials. And really what we're doing is combining like terms again. So we're doing exactly what we did up here, okay? So what I did as my first step was I took the parentheses and got rid of them. So take a look at these 4 problems that I set up. So we have you can see it's a binomial plus a binomial, another binomial plus binomial, binomial meaning 2 terms, plus another binomial, 2 terms, binomial plus binomial. Okay, what did I do? I just dropped all the parentheses and rewrote all of the terms without the constraints of the parentheses, okay? Because then it makes it a little bit easier, and you can actually take a look at it and see like, oh, it's pretty obvious what my like terms are. So let's take a look at A. 1n plus another 1n, right? And then we have positive 8 minus 12. So as you can see, I've kind of isolated the like terms so that it makes it much clearer what we are combining, okay? So if we go ahead, and you've got to be careful because remember I said 1n and 1n when I highlighted them. Even though you don't see a 1 in front of them, you can think of there being a 1 in front of each of those terms. In fact, you should think of it as a 1 in front of each of those terms. So when we add them, 1n plus 1n, that's how we get, of course, our 2n. And then we take our other like terms, 8 minus 12, and we get a negative 4. Done. And again, it's just simplified in a binomial. These are unlike terms, so we can't go any further and combine. So now, next one, same concept, okay? So let's identify our like terms. Hopefully you are seeing that we have a, oops, let me go down. You can do them up here in the parentheses, by the way. I just took away the parentheses to show you that you can do that. So I'm going to go down here and highlight. So I've got my 7, which is a whole number / integer, and I have my positive 2, which is also a whole number / integer. And then, of course, I have variable. That's a negative 1b. And this is a positive 3b. So let's go ahead and combine. So I always start with my variables. You don't have to because the 7 is first. So I'm going to go ahead and write it. But 7 plus 2 gets you 9. And a negative, and remember this is negative 1b plus 3b is a positive 2b. Now you can leave your simplified answer like that, but you can also use the commutative property and switch places and rewrite it as 2b first plus 9. To be honest with you, this is more of the algebraic form